Thank you all for coming out on such a great day. Does anybody have the Celtics score? Okay. Yeah. I'm running for the 2nd Congressional District, as you all know, and I've spent the last 20 years of my life volunteering in government, be it on the local level as a selectman, budget committee member, in the last 14, as most of you know, in the legislature. 8 years in the House, I'm on my 6th year in the Senate. I'm someone who has the experience and the ability to get the job done. And when somebody said a little while ago, Bob Clegg's in the hole, yeah, Bob Clegg was in the hole, all right, so are all of you, because in the last election they elected Democrats not only to Washington, but to the state of New Hampshire's legislature. And just the other night, while the Republicans didn't have the majority, the Democrats voted to spend $80 million to bond payments. That's like using your credit card to pay your mortgage payment. And that's exactly what they're doing in Washington. And it's time that we stood up and we got our neighbors to stand up and our friends to stand up and tell them not voting's not an option this time. You have to come out and you have to participate and you have to vote smart, or the next budget in both the Congress and in the local legislature is going to be so atrocious that you're actually going to want to move back to Massachusetts where it'll be cheaper to live. We need to stand up. I know someone already said we need to support our troops. There's a lot more to supporting our troops than just giving them the money and the equipment they need when they're overseas. Everyone talks about Iraq. I'd like to remind everybody we're also in Afghanistan. We have 2 fronts going. We actually have 3 when you talk about the work we do here in our own country to make sure that there's not another 9/11. But when they come home, too often we've forgotten the promises we made. We've forgotten the promises we made to those who served in Vietnam and Korea. We've forgotten the promises we made to those who served in the first Desert Storm. And we're forgetting the promises now. We promised them when they signed on that we would take care of them medically afterwards. We need to keep our promises. One of the biggest things that you go out and you do a survey and people say they have no faith in government. Why is that? Did you ever think that not only did we break our promises to veterans, but then we turn around and we broke our promises to the elderly who are suddenly getting on Medicare and finding out that we're not covering anything? Did you ever think how the generation behind us looks at that and says, well, I guess it's okay because mom and dad are breaking their promises, so I guess I don't have to keep my promises either. So what that says to a lot of people is, it doesn't matter what you say because you're not holding yourself to that promise like your grandparents did. Our grandparents never made a promise they didn't keep, no matter how difficult it was. I know I only have 3 minutes and Fergus is here, so let me just say the words of Al Baldassaro. Al honored me one day by making me an honorary Marine, and he says, elect Bob Clegg, and we'll take the Hill by storm. Thank you very much.